Hi folks, it's Evo here from Thundermist Lure Company, and welcome to today's episode of Thundermist Fishing Tips. So great to see you. It's a beautiful day. We're out here on Lake Erie, and today folks, we're going to talk about using planer boards and how to use them and why to use them and when to use them. As you can see, I have a couple lines behind me already down with the downriggers, so we've got the downriggers down, but we're also going to run, I'm just going to run one planer board today, and this one is going to What the planer boards do, folks, is they basically, with the downriggers, as you can see, they're right behind me and I'm trolling right behind the boat. What the planer board will do is it'll take my line off to the side of the boat and straight back. And the whole advantage there is, as you're trolling, especially if the fish are suspended closer to the top, say they're 20, 30 feet, they'll hear the motor and they'll scoot off to the side. But when they scoot off to the side, that's where your planer board is with your lure. That's the big advantage of the planer board. If you're fishing deep, you don't need a planer board, but if you're gonna run shallow and you're worried about the noise of the boat, planer boards are ideal. Now this particular board, and there's many different varieties, is an inline planer board, which is easy to use. You don't need anything extra. All you need is your fishing rod. That's why I like these particular ones. I'll show you how to rig them, but let's get the line in first. Now, when I'm running the planer board, we need something to get my line down. So I'm running this diver here. I've got a diver tied on. This one particular is going to take me 30 feet down. And then I've got, about 6-7 feet. And I'm running a Viper spoon, which I have rigged with a whole night crawler on there. And what I'm going to do now to get set up, okay, down goes the diver. And I'm gonna let out, now I actually have a line counter rod here, so I'm gonna let out about 100 feet of line, maybe 150 feet of line. 100 to 150, maybe 120. But with the line counter, it can tell me exactly how much line I have behind the boat, which is very, very handy, because that way you could always go back to that exact same amount of line behind the boat. Okay, so just about 100 now. Then what I'm gonna do, and like I say, you don't need any other tools. All you need is your fishing rod to run these planer boards. There's a little connection here. It's a little lever that basically, okay, that's enough line. That basically you lift it up, and let me get it in there. So what you do, this connects your planer board to your rod. And all you do is lift the lever up. There's a little slot here. I put the line in the slot, lift the lever up, put the lever back down. So now the planer board, I'm not going to lose it. Okay, so it's tied into my line here. The next thing I want to do is set the release for the lure. So there's a little clip here, like a clothes hanger clip. And all I'm going to do there is just put my line inside the clip and just lift it up. I'm trying to find that sweet spot. If you put it too deep in the clip, it'll be harder for the fish to release. If you put it just too shallow in the clip, it'll be too easy to release. So I think that's good right there. It's about halfway. So now, and what that release does is, I'll show you, as I get my line in. Now, the way this is angled, you can see it's already going off to the side with a little bit of pressure. So as I put pressure on my rod, it just takes it right off to the side, just like that. So now the more line I let out, the further off to the side it's gonna go. So I'm not gonna put too much line out, but I'm gonna put, maybe a little more. That's probably good. It's about 20 feet off to the side. There we go. So, downriggers are set. Planer board's off about 25 feet off to the side of the boat. I'm trolling at about 1.92 miles an hour right now, nice and slow into the waves. And now it's just a matter of wait and see. I'm running Viper spoons on the downriggers as well. And I've got the riggers set at one at 20 feet, one at 30 feet. I'm fishing 50 feet of water. I'm going to keep an eye on the graph and see if those fish are suspended or if they're higher or lower. But I'm hoping to get into fish or two, so stay tuned, folks. Okay, I love it when you're watching the rigger and you see the rod pop. And then you grab the line and you set the hook. It's a great feeling. And speaking of setting the hook on the planer boards, just to let you know, that clip that's holding the line, when a fish hits, it releases from the clip, and then what happens, the planer board is free to slide. So the planer board then will start to slide down, and you'll be able to tell right away that you've got a fish on there. Now, if for some reason the planer board release does not go, and you got a fish on there, sometimes they'll hit it and they won't release it. They'll swim with it. Well, in that case, what you got to do is just keep an eye on the planer board. If it's normally off to the side, what'll happen with an extra weight on there, it'll start to come more towards the back of the boat. So that's another way you could tell when you have a hit on a planer board. And then of course on the downrigger, what happens is, same thing, the release will go, the clip will give, and the rod will pop. And I think I've got myself a nice Lake Erie walleye, folks. You never know, it could be a sheephead as well, but this sure feels like a walleye, and it feels like a good one. Okay. Oh yeah, it's a walleye. It's starting to give me those head shakes. You gotta watch, you lose them at the boat with a head shake. And I'm by myself, so I'm gonna keep them down. There he is there, it's a nice walleye. A little more line, I gotta land them myself here. Okay, I'm gonna put the rod back a bit more. Come on, Mr. Walleye. There we go, in the bag. Beautiful, nice Lake Erie walleye right there, folks. That's a Daniel. Oh, look at that, my Viper spoon just came off. He just shook the hook off. And that's what happens, they got that bony mouth. And you gotta be careful because they'll shake the hook right at the boat, and that's where you'll lose them. But here we go. How's that for a start? Start to our day right there. Beautiful start to our day. That's a nice walleye. Okay, just as I was saying, this planer board did not release, but I noticed that it started to go a little bit more towards the back of the boat. I've got something on here. It didn't, yeah, I've got something on here. We don't know what we got, but let's take a look. Okay. See how it did not release. Now if it did release, what would happen is this. There. It would just slide down the line just like that. And you're not going to lose it because that clip has got it clipped into place. So now, okay, now remember this diver was going down 30 feet and that last walleye came 23 feet. So these fish are definitely suspended, and we're in 50, we've moved into 57 feet of water right now. Okay, let's hope this is another nice fish. So now I'm fighting the fish and the diver. Just remember, I've got that 30-foot diver on there. Oh, but I'm feeling the head shake, so. Oh yeah. Lake Erie fishing, folks. This lake is just thriving. Thriving with walleye. And other fish, of course. Okay. They gotta be getting close. That's the way to do it when you have a lot of line out too. You want to pull back, gain on the fish, and then take up the slack and reel it in quick. Okay. Planer board is just sliding along there, just doing its job. I mean, I could take it off too. Oh, it's a nice walleye. It's a nice walleye. Where'd I leave my net? On the other side, of course. Okay. Oh yeah, that's a nice size walleye. This is a good eating size walleye. All right. So My planer board is there, and there's my diver is right at the planer board. Oh, that's a nice walleye. There we go. Yes. Actually, it's about the same size as the other one. Nice fish. Maybe a little smaller. Yes. Viper spoon with a live night crawler does the trick. If you've never used those Viper spoons, they give off a lot of flash and a lot of flutter, followed by the trailing bait, and the walleye just attack them. It's a big profile, real big profile in the water. It gives the walleye an easy target. There's a nice walleye right there, folks. This one is a little smaller. That is a great eating size right there. You know where he's going. He's going to keep the other one company right in the box. Okay. There you have it, folks. Our day is just beginning out here. Gorgeous day. Lake Erie walleye. Planer boards off the side of the boat for those shallow fish. Works like a charm. I hope you've enjoyed today's episode of Thundermist Fishing Tips. Always great to see you. I'm excited. I got to get my lines back out there. But until next time, as always, good luck and good fishing. Fishing at night, but nighttime fishing for walleye, it's unbelievable. These fish are very active, and especially before a front like today,